Hello guys, in this video I want to show you how you can connect a Nextjs application with a Django REST framework backend. I'm gonna show you the folder structure and then how I access the API in the frontend and which URLs and paths I have on the backend. I have the folder open, which is the main folder. This can be your app name, like app, and after that I have 3 subfolders: the backend folder, the frontend folder, and the Postgres folder where I have a Docker Compose to start my database. And I opened both of these applications. I have VS Code open, and here I opened the frontend. And I have a fetch right here, which you can see, where I use the backend path, which we get when we start our Django application, or Django REST framework application. And I have different URLs that you can define with Django REST framework. I'm using a package named DRF social OAuth2, which I can use to generate tokens and authorize the user with access and refresh tokens. And I have a users path where I can go onto, and I have a user path where I have a register endpoint, a user data endpoint, a get profile endpoint, and an update profile endpoint. And we can see the views here. For example, have the update user profile endpoint right here, and the get user profile endpoint. And now if I head back into the frontend application, I opened the user page. Now I can go into the endpoint where I get the user information, and here we can see I am using an environment variable where I defined the public backend path. You can see here, and then I'm going on to the path users subdirectory, and then I get the profiles, and that's just the parameter I'm giving the username, and that's how I fetch the backend API. And for that you can access and you can use environment variables. You can define a host and a backend path, and on the backend you also need to allow cars. We can go into the settings of the backend application. Alright, here you can set allowed hosts. That's for the backend, and you need to allow the course origins. So allowed origins, for example, the frontend is running on localhost port 8000, for example, or 4000, and the backend is running on 3000, so you need to allow the origin of 8000 on the backend. That's that. And make sure you are using the correct port in the frontend and the correct host name, which can be localhost in this case. And later, if you deploy this application with Docker containers, you need to make sure that you pass the correct environment variables to your frontend application on which the correct path where the backend is running. I can also show you a provider which I'm using to integrate. I have this auth provider, so I can log in with a token. In this case it's called user data. I will pass in the bearer, so the access token, and after that I set the user status on my frontend with a state, and I also implemented some refresh logic for the refresh token, but that's not something for this video. And if I log out, the user can just remove the access and refresh token. So that's the connection of frontend and backend for Nextjs and Django. Hit me up with questions in the comments if you need something further explained, and I am happy to help you. And feel free to subscribe for more videos like that. So I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.